list ready for Thursday for our retreat?
I,
No,
I do. I do. I have my list, but
No, that does not count, Victoria.
it's going to require
no,
me taking stuff, but that's okay
What do
because
you
yeah,
mean
we're
taking
yeah.
driving.
stuff?
Who's
What?
introducing the show? Exactly what's happening on the show tonight?
You
Who's?
are?
You,
Oh,
I didn't get a template,
then you
so
can bring me back in, Ruth. I guess
I would love to do that.
because
Yes.
you're gonna introduce the show. You mean you'd love to do?
No, I would love
Oh,
to bring you back in. I can do that.
uh, sure, sure, sure. Well, that's going to be interesting.
it most surely is.
God always is.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, well, we can do that. We can do
Mhm.
that. And we
Yep.
have everything straight for Thursday. Departure is 10:30,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
For you, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be about the same time. I might as well just start coming that way too. Really, be honest. And
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
I
probably.
could wait the sell thing lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can just let you know when
All right,
I'm
everybody,
yeah.
excited.
time to roll the open.
Me too.
Thank
Thank
you,
Okay.
Alan. Roll them. Roll
Thank
'em.
you. Well, good evening, good evening, everybody, and good evening,
Gosh.
everyone, and welcome to Authors Up,
Oh, stop.
your place to be on Sunday afternoons at 7 p.m. We're laughing because we got a little disco going on during our opening music. Victoria was going for broke down there. I tell you all missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Good evening,
Yes.
Linda Cooks. Good evening to you. Welcome to Authors Up, and good evening to our South Carolina connection, Miss Angie. Oh, glad to have you this evening, Angie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And
Mhm.
happy Father's Day to all of our fathers out there. Hope they've had a good
Indeed.
day today. Hope that everything has gone well and they got to do something that they enjoy doing. And that would be a good thing. And we've got an interesting show for you tonight. One for you to relax and enjoy, right, ladies? Yes.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay. We're gonna start. We're gonna start. I don't know what has us giggling like this. This is just crazy. But here we're gonna get serious. We're gonna get serious. We're gonna start our afternoon off with our week in review. And I'm going to go first this time because I was excited about some things that happened this week. So I'm
Should be.
glad to be able to share them with you. I had two things that went on this week. I was a guest on a podcast called Purposely Speaking.
Oh,
And I was excited about that. I was glad to do that. And I don't think anybody has interviewed me for a long time other than what we did right here. So it was kind of exciting to do that. The young lady who was responsible for it is Regina Harrell. And she also has a magazine called Embrace.
Mhm.
And it's an online magazine. You can get a hard copy of it as well, but it's a beautiful magazine. It's really well put together, I think. And one of my poems, which is called The Voice of a Father, was featured in the June edition. of that magazine. So I
Awesome.
things
Awesome.
going on. But you know how we talk all the time about everybody has a story. It just depends on whether or not you want to tell it.
Mhm.
Well, as she was interviewing me, I started talking to her about her magazine and how she put it together and things that we just started chatting. And she has a very, very, very interesting story of strength.
Wow.
Okay.
So about, surrounding when she actually started the magazine and the challenges that she had and how she thought she wasn't going to be able to make it at all. So she's going to be with me on this Thursday coming up on When Life Speaks. So we kind of
Oh,
turn the table
good.
on each other. So you all will get to meet Regina Harrell. She's really a sweet lady and she's doing some remarkable things. So be sure that you turn in on Thursday night, right here at ALH Broadcasting. And you'll get to meet another lady. She is also an author.
Oh,
Okay.
Also an author, and so she may be showing up on When Life on Authors Up
Authors
on one
up.
of our programs.
great, great, great. Well, how
So,
can we hear the podcast?
huh?
How can we hear your interview? You didn't
If
tell us.
if you go to my page on Facebook,
Okay.
it is there.
All right, well,
Both
missed
both
that.
the
We're sorry.
link
I would
to
have
the
tuned in.
article
And
and podcast.
what is your page on Facebook?
It is Andrea L. Himes.
Okay. So our listeners can or our viewers.
It's Andrea L. Hines. And I may go ahead and put it over on I think one of them, it may be the magazine, is over on ALH Broadcasting as well. So we'll get those places get those places together. Victoria, my dear. you,
Maybe you should go to Ruth. I'm having some scarf issues.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Y'all don't want it to fall off now. What all that? I'm trying to make sure because it feels funny, but it doesn't feel
it
tight
looks
enough.
okay. It looked
Thank
okay.
you. I'm just gonna
Started
leave
playing
it.
with
See,
it,
it's
so
when you start playing with
It
it.
bothers
That's
me,
when,
right?
yes.
I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
it alone.
Hey, Leah, glad to have you with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining. So, Victoria, why don't you tell us about your week in review?
Let me see. Uh, um,
Yeah, maybe we should go over to Ruth.
maybe we should go to come back to me. I'm seriously drawing a blank. Except for work was not an exciting. I mean, it wasn't. Nothing special happened. At work we had a 2-day conference, which I did not. Yeah, a workshop, which I didn't want to be at, but had to be there. Oh, I know what happened this week. Here's a good one. I had my yearly physical. So this is a PSA. Oh gosh. Here's a PSA announcement and reminder for all our listeners and our viewers. And hello, all our listeners in podcast land. Welcome to the show. By the way, remind everyone to get your physicals. Get your physicals because prevention really is a cure. Get your blood work done, all your analysis is done, and your testing, and make sure you're on track with certain things. And if you've been on a certain medication for a while, talk about it again with your doctor. All those things. So I did have my physical this week, and I'm waiting for my numbers and things to come back. Make sure everything's all right. And I think that was a highlight of the week.
Good.
But so everything looks good, and I was pleased. I
Let
lost 2 pounds. I lost 2 pounds.
Good for
All
you.
right.
Good for you. Did things go smoothly with the transition? I know you had
At work?
transition. Yeah.
No.
Well, I'll leave that alone then. Let's go on over to Ruth.
Yeah, we'll leave it to Ruth.
What
Well, I
Ruth-
did get the word that it has to. Well, it's supposed to be effective July 1st. So I think the next couple of weeks I'm going to be packing, throwing out, and moving.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
To start
Okay.
with the clean office, new fiscal
Exactly.
year.
Exactly.
Silver
Looking
linings.
forward to
Good
that.
deal.
Still in a positive mood.
There you go. And Miss Ruth?
Well, I am already on vacation in my head,
Okay.
which
yes.
is not probably a good
Not
thing because
good.
I have a 2-day workshop training workshop this week, one of which I will be leading. So
Oh,
I need to get focused.
yeah, you need to get your head out the clouds, man, off the
Yes, I
beach.
do.
Head off the
Right.
beach.
Plus our website, we're doing updates, and that's supposed to go live like July 1st. And we have like so much going on, and I'm like, I
Wow.
cannot be on the beach just yet.
Okay.
Just yet.
Okay. You got to
So
prepare to get ready to go. Yeah. Got you.
so I am looking forward to it. I already have my bag out. I'm gonna be getting packed up here in the next couple days. Let's see. I've had the opportunity to follow up with a couple of our authors that we've had on
Oh,
the show, and hopefully we will have back on. I don't know if you guys remember Lisa Randolph. She wrote
Yes.
the
Divas.
Divas. Yes, the
Wildlife.
Wildlife Divas.
yes.
She had actually spent, I believe, if I'm saying this correctly, she was spending time in Kenya or Uganda
Hmm.
I think
for
it's
the Ugandan book launch,
Mhm.
and
Right.
they got funding for their documentary.
All
So
right.
she's got so much going on, and I told
Good
her
for
that when she was
her.
back, we were going to have her back on the show.
She's
I
gonna
mean, just
come
to
on and
talk.
tell us about it.
Absolutely. That's just
I can't wait for
exciting.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we're always happy to hear about what our authors are doing. Hopefully, reach out to us. Like last week we had
McDougal.
yes,
Shatara.
Shatara McDougal. I'm
Shatara.
sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
terrible with names. I know the face. But we had her back on. She reached out to us. We welcome you guys back, and
Yeah.
we love sharing your stories. We also love sharing book bundles.
Yes. Yes. Wait a minute. One question before we talk about the book bundle.
Yes.
Has Miss Lisa written the second book yet? Because she's supposed to be writing a series of the girls, the little divas going different places. And the next one was Australia. Has she done that yet?
I don't think she has quite yet.
Oh, I can't wait for
I
the
know
next
she's
story.
working on it, but I think with everything with
I doubt if
Uganda,
she has with everything
yeah,
going
I would be
Yeah,
surprised if
yeah. Oh
she
my
did.
gosh.
But I am looking forward to it. If it's anything like the first book, I think it's going to be
Right,
It's gonna be
amazing.
fun. It's
right.
Yeah,
gonna be fun.
yeah.
Mhm.
All
So,
right. Well, I was slated to talk about our book bundle. And
yeah.
as some of you know, and some of you may not know, we are giving away what we call our Authors Up book bundle, which was going to be 5 books of 5 books. That's right. Five. My mother used to do that to all the grandchildren when they started talking. 5. So 5 was their first number. But anyway, 5 books and a Authors Up beautiful mug from us,
Mhm.
and we are looking at who makes comments on our live broadcast. So if you are on our Facebook Live, we welcome you to make comments. We're taking note of it. Those of you who make comments, we are going to put your name on what I call my wheel of fortune. We're going to spin the wheel, and one of you will win this book bundle. Again, we do this quarterly. And so we're getting ready to do our next one from all the comments in June. And we will have our winner announced on our first broadcast in July. So please come on with the comments. Please like and share our broadcast, and let somebody know that you spend Sunday evenings here with Authors Up. We appreciate it. And we look forward to giving someone this book bundle. It makes our heart happy to give away books.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
We love
indeed,
books.
indeed. And tonight we don't have a guest tonight. We
Mm-mm.
are our own guests tonight.
Just us.
So we don't have anybody coming in, but we still have an interesting show for you because we are going to talk about funny thing about fathers. And as we were preparing for the show, we realized and recognized that all of us had very, very different relationships with our fathers.
Mhm.
And we thought we would pick something that was either heartwarming or something that was funny that we could share with you tonight. Fathers come with lessons learned. That's what we wanted to kind of launch from, because they either teach us what to do or they teach you what not to do.
Amen.
The way
Amen.
Lessons learned when it comes to being a father and being a dad, and so we just wanted to share something a little light with you, and I'm blessed to have a poem to share with you as well this evening. Hot off the press, hot off the
Oh,
press.
It's a new one.
New.
oh, okay. So we're
Brand
debuting a new poem
brand
tonight.
Oh, I thought we were gonna hear the voice of the Father.
The voice of the
Excuse
Father.
me, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't pull
No,
that.
they'll have to go to the magazine.
That was
tonight.
my assumption. So that
Oh,
was me.
well,
That was
you
totally
know,
me.
You can go read it at the
God
magazine.
decided that he would give me something else.
I
All
love
right.
it.
So
love
I
it.
said, okay, fine, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord, for the divine downloads. I am grateful.
Well,
Let's go.
depending on how our time goes, if we have time, I can do that one too. But let's just see where we are this evening. And who's going first? I am not. So
I can go first.
okay, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm so proud of you. Volunteering to
you.
be first.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
Hey,
think anybody
girl.
can beat my story. So
Okay, go ahead.
so I actually grew up without a dad. He
Mhm.
was in and out of the home. I was not able to rekindle the relationship with him until I was in my 30s. And we're good. He, I have three siblings by him and my mom. I
Mhm.
have a brother by my dad and a girlfriend. I have a brother by my mom and my stepdad. So it's six of us. And I recently found out that I have another sister,
Yay.
and she is 2 years old. So,
Yay.
you were saying, Andrea, that dads teach us what to do and what not to do. And starting life over again at 70 is what not to do.
Wow.
Bless him,
Wow.
Lord.
Oh, she is a beautiful little girl, though. Just precious, just precious. I've shared the photos with you. She is just happy. I mean, honestly, obviously I'm biased. When it comes to my kids, I thought that they were the best kids on the planet, and they were at the time. But now I have a little sister who is almost 2 years old, and she
Aw.
is just like amazing. Just amazing. She's happy. She is just curious. I mean, even today when I talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, she learned a new word." He's like, "Everything is duck now. She wants a duck." I'm like, good luck with that.
When you were there, she wanted a boat.
Boat.
Yes, she wanted a boat, so now she wants a duck to go with the boat. So
How
yeah.
sweet.
And when you go next month or whenever you go, bring her a stuffed duck and let's leave it at that. Okay. That's hard.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's just it's and I say I put a lot of humor into it. My dad. My parents got divorced they separated when I was about 13, and life was just life. But as you mature into adulthood and you look back and you see how those times were, and now I'm able to see my dad not just as my dad, but as a human being, as a
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter that his girlfriend is younger than me. It doesn't matter that, he's 70 years old and still doing stuff.
He's still vigorous. He's vigorous.
So, and that I got a 2-year-old sister. It just, and then I'm old enough actually to be her grandmother.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's just,
Right.
it's humorous, and it's funny, even when I talk with my kids, I'm like, "That's your auntie," and they're like, "No, that's too weird." I'm like,
Well, she's not that cousin.
Yeah.
"No,
Not a
it's not."
cousin.
And it's just, you know what? I have been able to find humor in this and just enjoy it. I mean, because what
Yeah.
else am I gonna do?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I have a little sister. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be in my 60s when we go to her high school graduation. You start doing the math and you just go, "Okay, cool." So, yes, what not to do. Don't start life over when you're 70. At least
Don't
not like
start
that.
life over. Okay, that's a good tip for her. Good
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't see it like that. He's leaving a legacy.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But I mean, even when I was talking to him today, he's like, oh, yeah, she is just so smart. And she's just, she's this, she's that. He's like, well, I might not be around to see it. And I'm like,
Oh,
and, he says it with a bit of humor, but I think he understands, he's 70 now,
yeah,
and the reality is, his
yeah,
parents were probably around 80, well into their 80s and 90s when they passed. So
right,
he understands the reality of it,
right,
and he's
But
okay with
he's
that.
enjoying her.
He
yeah,
is.
I
He
think
is. Now she is running him ragged
I'm sure.
because again, she's 2 years old, but he is enjoying it, I think.
oh,
Yeah.
That's
that's nice.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
She's just precious.
She really is. She's a
Mhm.
cutie.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna
love
move on to Miss Victoria.
Well, I must be honest with you guys today. It has not been an easy day for me. I grew up with my dad in the home, and even though he was in the home, sometimes I felt like he might as well have been on Mars,
Mhm.
because it wasn't. My mom and dad didn't have the best relationship. He was an alcoholic until he stopped drinking and eventually joined the church and then went to church with us. But that wasn't until I was well in my upper teenage, early 20s. So my formative years was seeing my father drunk a lot.
Mhm.
And my siblings and I, we have a funny little story about my father. Every time you would ask him for money, we learned that we would go to my mother for everything. But then when we asked my father for stuff, he would always pull out of his pocket. And we lived in New York. I was born and raised in New York. He would pull out of his pocket a token and a quarter. And he'd tell us, this is all I have. I don't have any money. All I have is a token to get to work and a quarter. And we would tell each other, yeah, he's so cheap. He ain't never got no money. But it didn't occur to us that he would always go into that one pocket. And it didn't occur to us to ask him, well, could you pull out what's in the other pocket? It never occurred to us that he probably had the money in the other pocket.
Mhm.
But he did that, because now that I have children of my own and raising my family, I know what it is about raising kids.
Mhm.
And sometimes you just don't have it,
Mhm.
and instead of looking in your child's face and say, baby, I just don't have it.
Mhm.
That token and a quarter was his way of saying he could go back and forth to work, but he didn't have any extra,
Mhm.
and he probably felt bad for that. And I didn't realize that until we started talking about fathers this week and thinking about those things. Because I was thinking about what would I talk about. But my father, he did the best he could. They mother and father, all of them, they just did the best they could. But my favorite story to tell about my father's impact directly on my life was we had moved down here. They moved in 87 and I moved in 88. And when I first came, they told me I had to find a job, in order to survive. I had to find a job if I wanted to get a car, et cetera, et cetera. And so we lived over in the Woodcroft area in Durham. And I found a job at the local Circle K gas station. So I was going to be a cashier. And it was like one of my first jobs too. I was like 23 when we moved down here. So it was also one of my first jobs kind of ever, because I'd worked in Alexander's department store up in New York. So I never really had a long-term job,
Right.
So I said I took anything I could just to get some money. So one of the things they asked me to do when the store was a little slow, they asked me to mop the floor. So I didn't think anything of it. I was just, I just do whatever I was asked to do. So I was sitting there mopping the floor. And my father came in. And he walked up to me. I didn't see him. He saw me. So he walked up to me and he says, "What are you doing?" And I said, I'm mopping the floor. That's part of my job duties. He said, "Where's your manager?" I said, "In the back." So I called him out there and he said, this is going to be my daughter's last day here. What time, what day is she going to be paid? And the manager told him, and he said, my name is Mr. Henderson. I'll be up here for her check. I thought, what the world? What the world? But daddy, don't say nothing else to me. Go to the car. Okay. He done lost me my job, y'all. He done lost me my job. I get in the car. He turned around, looked at me, and he said, and I'll never forget it. He said, baby girl, I mop floors in New York so that you don't ever have to.
Mm.
You don't ever have to mop anybody's floor to make any money. You are not made for that. You will not mop anybody's floor unless it's a floor in your own house. That's why I did what I did. And I said, okay.
Wow.
I didn't know he felt that passionate and strong about that, but he did. And he told me I don't ever have to find work that bad or need money that bad that I'll mop anybody's floor. That was not what his daughter was going to do. I was like,
wow.
Okay. And that's not what his daughter did.
Never. No. Never again. Never again. No. If I mopped the floor, it was in my own house, but never for a job.
Wow. So
I lived up to that. But I just, I know that my dad loved me. And the last thing that I said to him was, I love you. The night before he passed, I was getting ready to go out the door and I said, I love you, Daddy. And he said, I love you too, baby girl. That was the last thing we said to each other. So I've been in my feelings today. So I'm gonna stop talking before I start crying. But I know that my dad loved me and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to know that he did. And I'm just grateful, like I said, my parents did the best that they could. And while everything wasn't 100% perfect, it is what it is. And I thank God for those things.
And those are good things to thank God for. Those are good things to thank God for. Because at the end of the day, when you know that there was love there, nothing can take that away.
Nope.
You know what? And honestly, even when you're not sure, it's something when you start maturing and when you become the parent and you go,
yes, I get it.
You now have grace.
I get it.
You can say, I got it. I got it.
I got it.
And Angie made a comment, says seeing your dad as a human being changes some things.
That's very true. Yeah. Very true.
So true. So true. Wow. That's good. That's good. I had a great relationship with my dad. I'm really, really blessed. He was very supportive, always very supportive. He came from a time when the KKK was chasing he and part of his family through the woods, and ended up moving and living in Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania, different places. But he was always excited about the things that I got to do. When I got to work at IBM and I got to travel and all of the things that were afforded me that he didn't have. And a lot of times people talk about men being taught that men aren't supposed to cry and not to be emotional and those kinds of things. And that I don't think my father got that lesson, because he cried the drop of a dime.
Really?
Yeah. There was a variety show that used to come on television. I don't know whether anybody's old enough to remember it, but it was called the Ed Sullivan Show.
I remember that. I sure do.
There was an African American entertainer on the Ed Sullivan Show, my daddy cried.
Oh,
wow.
And I always think to myself, if he had been alive to see a Black president,
yes,
I think he'd still be crying. I think he'd cry for 8 years, because it just meant, that much to him. He went to the March on Washington to hear Martin Luther King, and he did not take me. because he was
Mm.
so afraid of the violence that
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
might break out. He was one of the few African American watchmakers before we got into cells and batteries and all of that, when they had little hairsprings and mainsprings, and
Mm-hmm.
I kept his eye loop and things like that. But my dad did not have much education. I don't think he
Mm.
went beyond fourth grade,
Wow.
actually.
Wow.
But he was always a man of order. He was a janitor at the Navy Yard, but he wore a white shirt and tie and everything when he went to work. And one of the men there taught him about watches and taught him about timepieces and taught him about that. So when that man left and started Peters College of Watchmaking, he took my dad. And my father became a teacher in
Oh,
that.
wow.
Wow.
He underwent a lot of, racism and, all those kinds of things. But he was just, he had the greatest sense of humor. They had a shoe. There was a shoe, a flat shoe, and it was a slingback back in the day. And they were 1999. 1999, and I wanted a pair, and they called them 19s, and I wanted a pair. So
Mm.
I said, Dad, please, I just want a pair of 19s. He said, but that's half a shoe. Does that come with a jacket? Is there a coat or something that comes with it? No, Dad, it's just a shoe. So, but he didn't read very well, and this is one of my favorite things. And we gave him a Father's Day card one year that should have been a lot shorter, but it was rather lengthy Father's Day card. And he struggled. He struggled to read it, but he read that card and he was so proud of it. And we could see little tears,
Oh.
coming down his face and everything. And he got to the end and he said, it said like Happy Father's Day. And he went, Happy Father's Day, Oxa, 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 Oxa. And Lynn and I sat there and went, Oxa, Oxa, Oxa? What did he talking about? He was talking about the X's and O's.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm not laughing.
Laugh because we did. And so did he when we explained it to him.
Oxa.
He was so sincere, bless his heart.
He was.
He was so sincere. And every time to this day, if I see anything that has X's
X
and
and
O's,
O's.
just fall out.
Oxa to you too. That's hilarious. That's funny.
And he taught me a lot about people in terms of dealing with people in business and presenting yourself well.
Yeah.
And I used to go with him on Saturday mornings to buy stock. He did own his own business. And I have great lessons and great memories and great laughter. And I'm one of the blessed ones. I was a daddy's girl, and I had a great relationship with my dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad about that. I have a lot of things that bring me joy, like Oxa Oxa, and make me laugh.
Oh, that's funny.
Other things I can't share on Authors Up, but he was quite amazing.
Oh, gosh.
He was indeed. He was. But we're actually at our halfway mark right now. So I want to, if you guys are okay with it, I'll go on and read the piece.
Absolutely.
We'll make it we don't have to make it a long show tonight, but it's interesting because some of the comments that you all were making earlier are in this little piece.
Wow.
so so I guess it for sure it's something that he wanted me to write and something that he wanted me to read. So
Amen. He
There
does
you go.
all things well. I tell
here
you.
we go. Here we go. Okay, it says there is a lot of weight on a parent, mother and father alike. Parenting can be a roller coaster ride as all parents try to get it right. There are certain characteristics we attribute to each one, certain expectations that come from the daughter and some that come from the son. But as the years go by, the roles become less clear and shared responsibilities begin to change things year after year after year. Yet, when it comes to celebrating their own special day, mothers get most of the attention, and seems like dads are kind of left along the way.
Mhm.
But some dads are unsung heroes you'd like to give a trophy to, while others may fall short when it comes to the list of things that they should do. There are some relationships that are solid and strong, others not so much. It gets easy to focus on what's not right and use it as a crutch.
Mm.
But for all the good you've experienced, as well as everything you think you missed, you can still live your best life. Go make a bucket list. And on it, add unconditional love for that parent who's been on your mind, who may have fallen short. Show forgiveness and grace while there's time. You can still find joy and a little peace and strength that you might need. Maybe you can't repair it all, but at least you can plant a seed. There's no time like the present. There's something you can do right now. Truth be told, if you're young or old, we all just do the best we know how.
Mhm.
And that's it.
That's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Very
And that's what you
beautiful.
were saying. That's all we can do. We do the best we
Mhm.
know. We do the
Mhm.
best we know how. And as we grow and as we get mature and as life changes for us, we begin to do like Angie said, we begin to see our mothers and our fathers as human beings.
Yes,
Mhm.
They're just human beings. They're
that's
just
right.
people trying to do the best they can do,
Yeah.
trying to make sure that you have the best that they can give you, you know? And sometimes we have to get to a point of saying, that's exactly all it is.
Yeah.
Human.
You know,
Mhm.
everybody's got a role to play. Everybody's got some kind of different responsibilities to do. All of us are made uniquely. All of us are made differently. But at the end of the day, we do the best we know how to do.
That's
Mhm.
exactly right.
So
Mhm.
that's my offering for the evening.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
I love it. I love it. It's a great reminder.
Hmm.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. And thank you, Jesus, for the reminder.
Amen.
Mhm.
Because it
Amen.
doesn't, parenting.
Oh, it's not easy.
Not for the faint of heart. You know, that's my line. Not for the faint of heart.
No,
Mm-mm.
it
Mm-mm.
really isn't. It really
Nope.
isn't. And whether your parents are with you or whether they are not, whether they have transitioned, whether you had a good relationship or didn't have a good
Mhm.
relationship, it doesn't mean that you can't be the best you
Right.
Mhm.
that you can be.
Right.
That's right.
You
Right.
can't lay everything to their charge. You can't
Exactly.
make it all their fault. You can't, I'm this way because I didn't get, I'm this way because I didn't have, at some point
You got
you
to
make a
choose.
choice.
That's it.
Mhm.
You got to choose
That's
to be
it.
better and different.
Yep.
Exactly
You
right.
you have to make the choice. And I think when you do and you choose you
Mm-hmm.
over everything else,
Mm-hmm.
then you know what? You can have a great life.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
I remember clearly when I decided that I wasn't going to raise my girls in the way I was raised.
Mhm.
And I had to make that choice for myself, and it took it was a lot. It was a lot for me to do that because it went against everything I had been raised in.
Mhm.
But I realized that just as everybody else before me had a right to choose, so do I have I had a right to choose how I wanted to raise my children.
Mhm.
And there are some things I incorporated, and there were some things I did, but
Mhm.
they were given to me, and so I had to make that choice.
Mhm.
And right or wrong or indifferent, it now is what it is, and they too are going to have to make the choice. And
Yep.
I have had to remember that as I've watched them grow and make choices that I didn't like, you know.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's something. I had to extend that same grace and mercy to them that God extends to me.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
that's one lesson I had to learn. And that same grace had to extend to my mother and father. You know, they didn't do everything right and they didn't do everything wrong.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yes.
Mhm.
So true. So true. And Angie says we get to decide. Yes, we do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
We get to decide.
yes.
I choose
Mhm.
me. I choose joy. I choose laughter.
Yep.
I, I choose Queen Victoria and Miss Ruth.
I choose you guys too. And we
And I
choose to use
choose
our
our
words to
listeners.
uplift.
I choose our listeners and our
Yes.
podcast listeners and our viewers. And you know who else I choose?
Who
Dr.
else?
Alan D. Chaffins.
Yes, yes. Alan,
Happy
he's
Father's
behind the
Day, Alan.
scenes.
Happy Father's Day to you, sir. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Yes.
Thank you for hanging in there with us here at Authors Up and making sure that we
Mhm.
get on the air like we should and do the things that we should and learn
Yes.
the things that we should. And we do, sir, appreciate you. Probably more than
Absolutely.
we tell you, but I know
Yes,
I give you a
indeed.
hard time sometimes, but I do appreciate everything that you do for us. And we thank you so much for all you do for Authors Up and ALH Broadcasting and everything that we have going on. We really do appreciate you, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Yep. So that is it for us for the night. We are just about almost at 7:45, which is our right time to be leaving.
There it
Any
is.
comments from you two ladies?
Well, just remember, we're not going to be here next week.
Yep. We're going to be showing a replay.
We are going on retreat, guys.
Yep.
Authors Up is going on
Woo,
retreat.
much needed.
So I can't make any promises as to what will be going on with Queen Victoria when we return. Um, she's part of the reason we're going on the retreat.
Ooh, oh, you see how y'all see how they do me,
Oh,
listeners? Y'all see how they do me?
we
Woo.
we all need it. We all need it. She is not by herself. Ruth's already got her bag out, and I can
I do
go
too.
right by the door, in case
I've
anybody
been
should
thinking of
come
outfits. What am I taking? What am I taking? I don't have enough
Yep.
shorts. I don't have enough shorts.
But we will be back live after that. But
That's right.
still tune in because even on our replays, we select some shows that have been favorites and some that you will always glean from. So
Yeah.
That's right.
you will know
That's
who
right.
that is as we go through and are about the week ahead. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for listening, for joining in, for sharing, for listening to the replay, because a lot of you come back and listen to the replay and share it with other folks. So
Yep.
we are glad about that as well. So again, thank you so much for being with us. Because you never know what's going to happen on Authors.
No, you don't.
We'll see you again soon. Good night, everybody. Have
Good
a great
night.
Night. Mwah. Good night, bronze girls.
Good night.
good night.